The abolition of slavery occurred at different times in different countries, and sometimes occurred sequentially in more than one stage. For example, as abolition of the trade in slaves in a specific country, and then as abolition of slavery throughout empires. Each step was usually the result of a separate law or action. This timeline shows abolition laws or actions listed chronologically. This article also covers the abolition of serfdom. Although slavery is now de jure illegal in all countries, de facto practices akin to it continue today in many places throughout the world. Ancient times. 3rd century BC. Ashoka abolishes slave trade and encourages people to treat slaves well, but does not abolish slavery itself in the Maurya Empire, covering the majority of India, which was under his rule. 221–206 BC. The Qin dynasty's measures to eliminate the landowning aristocracy include the abolition of slavery and the establishment of a free peasantry who owed taxes and labor to the state. They also discouraged serfdom. The dynasty was overthrown in 206 BC and many of its laws were overturned. 17. Wang Mang, first and only emperor of the Qin dynasty, usurped the Chinese throne and instituted a series of sweeping reforms, including the abolition of slavery and radical land reform. After his death in 23 AD, slavery was reinstituted. Early timeline. Many of these changes were reversed in practice over the succeeding centuries. 500. Slavery ends for a time in Ireland, but resumes by the 9th century. 960. Doge of Venice Pietro IV Candiano reconvened the Popular Assembly and had it approve of a law prohibiting the slave trade in the Italian city-state, the Republic of Venice. 1080 William the Conqueror, of England and Duke of Normandy, prohibited the sale of anyone to heathens. 1102. Trade in slaves and serfdom is condemned by the Church in London. Council of London. 1117. Slavery abolished in Iceland. 1214. The Statute of the Town of Korčula abolishes slavery. 1215. Magna Carta signed. Clause 30, commonly known as habeas corpus, would form the basis of a law against slavery in English common law. 1220. The Saxon Spiegel, the most influential German code of law from the Middle Ages, condemns slavery as a violation of God's likeness to man. 1256. The Liber Paradisus is promulgated. The Comune di Bologna abolishes slavery and serfdom, and releases all the serfs in its territories. 1274. Landslov in Norway mentions only former slaves, which indicates that slavery was abolished in Norway. 1290. Edward I of England passes Quia Emptors, breaking any indenture to an estate, on the sale or transfer of the estate. 1315. Louis X, King of France, publishes a decree proclaiming that France signifies freedom, and that any slave setting foot on the French ground should be freed. However, slavery continued till the 17th century along France's Mediterranean coastline, the Provence. 1335. Sweden makes slavery illegal. An abolition of slaves setting foot on Swedish ground does not occur until 1813. 1347. Non-free people were emancipated in Poland under the Statutes of Casimir the Great issued in Wielika. 1368. China's Hongwu Emperor establishes the Ming dynasty and would abolish all forms of slavery. However, slavery continued in the Ming dynasty. Later Ming rulers, as a way of limiting slavery in the absence of a prohibition, passed a decree that limited the number of slaves that could be held per household and extracted a severe tax from slave owners. 1416. Republic of Ragusa abolished slavery and slave trading. 1435. In Sicududu, Pope Eugene IV banned enslavement of Christians in the Canary Islands on pain of excommunication. However, the non-Christian indigenous Guanches could be and were enslaved during the Spanish conquest.